I can beat any superstar from any era. Then Undertaker pulled up and said, I want it. Smoke! Took that man, AJ, chokeslam and said, yeet! Super Showdown. Started off kind of decent. Forget these sunglasses. Started off kind of decent. And as the show went on, like a usual wrestling trend, it found a way to get fucking worse. Goldberg winning the Universal title. Bray Wyatt getting buried. You spent 6 months building this character to look as good as it has, and now you had him lose his title to someone that is over 50 years old and has no business burying young talent inside of a wrestling ring. And you could only blame one person, and that is Vince McMahon. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about Super Showdown. I'm going to review the entire show and talk about every aspect of it. Super Showdown. It gets very difficult sometimes to understand the way that this company conducts business. This was not the worst show that I've ever seen, but this was not a good show from start to end. And if I had to say thumbs up or thumbs down, I don't know if I could say thumbs up. This show was all over the place. I don't understand half the things they did, and I don't understand why they did half the things that they did. I am here to review Super Showdown, and taking notes for these shows gets very, very, very tedious, but I think that it's well worth it because these are generally my most viewed videos out of most of the videos that I do. I'm going to review Super Showdown. Super Showdown occurred yesterday afternoon. I had to go to work right after it ended, and I did not get time to do it earlier today, so this is going to be a much later upload, and we will see how that affects the views. But also the weekend is coming up, so people have more time on their hands to watch what it is that I put out. Super Showdown. I am not going to review the kickoff show because nobody watches the kickoff show because this show was long enough. This show was 3.5 hours, but for some reason it felt like 5. This show started off good. It was okay in the middle, and then it just kind of crumbled to dust. That's at least how I felt. The first match was the Gauntlet Match for the Tuak Trophy. I completely botched that name. And the winner of this was not even in the match. So we're going to go over that real quick. The match starts off with R-Truth and Bobby Lashley. They are the two men that kick off the Gauntlet Match. And one of the things I want to make mention of, too, is R-Truth was very over in Saudi Arabia. And R-Truth is over in general because R-Truth just really is cool stuff. Bobby Lashley was in control for most of this match. Now, he did attempt a spear. Now, this is where the match, Truth and Lashley only wrestled for a couple minutes. The ending sequence of their encounter featured Bobby Lashley going for a spear attempt. He fell over Truth, or he falls over after missing, and Truth rolls him up, and Lashley's eliminated. He's definitely pissed, and he attacks R-Truth after his elimination, and he spears him in the ring. So this is where R-Truth is starting to get annihilated. He was attacked post-elimination, so that's already not good. Andrade Cien Almas is the next entry into this. Truth dodges Almas, who was running into the corner. Both men butt heads. This was another very quick sequence. This ending featured both men butting heads and Truth falling onto Almas, and he eliminated him. And at this point, we're thinking, well, we know R-Truth is not going to win this gauntlet match, but it's interesting the way he gets his eliminations because both of these men, I didn't even think he was going to get past Bobby Lashley. But to get past Cien Almas was kind of impressive if you look at it that way. Here comes Eric Rowan. Now, this is where you kind of have to draw the line. I don't think there's any way in hell that cleanly R-Truth could get one past Eric Rowan. And Eric Rowan just annihilates him, throwing him against the steel steps all over the place. And he is DQ'd after he uses these steel steps as a weapon. So, via disqualification, R-Truth does advance further on into this match and enters AJ Styles. And AJ Styles mocks Truth, who's barely alive, and he just keeps annihilating him. Truth is barely even breathing at this point. He's been through so much already in this match. He rolls Truth into a calf crusher and eliminates him, and R-Truth is done in this match. Now, I believe the final entry is supposed to be Rey Mysterio, and this is where probably one of my favorite parts of the show actually happened. The ending of this was supposed to be Rey Mysterio coming out. They cue his music, doesn't come out, cue it again, doesn't come out. And the OC, we are seeing backstage, the OC is attacking Rey Mysterio, and AJ is telling the announcers, call me the champion, give me the trophy. And then we see again another flashback to the to the end screen, and we see the OC getting attacked and on the ground, and we don't know exactly what happened. And then we see two black boots and a long black apron dress, and we know that it's the Undertaker. Now, the Undertaker was rumored to show up in Saudi Arabia prior to the show, and that is exactly what happened. Out comes the Undertaker, and quick work, he choke slams AJ Styles, and Undertaker gets the trophy. This was a very cool way to end the match. This match was actually probably about 40 minutes long, and it was really, really, really long. A lot of times the Gauntlet matches are supposed to generate fresh talent, so it doesn't seem as long. It didn't, you know what's weird is this match didn't seem like it was 40 minutes. It felt like it was a while, but it was cool to have Undertaker there and to win. So that was the way that they chose to kick off the show, and that was all right, and I didn't mind that. Now, the next match that came up was another good match. It was for the SmackDown Tag Team titles, and that was The Miz and John Morrison taking on the New Day for the SmackDown Tag titles. This was back and forth, high action, quick, fast, early. Morrison slammed Kingston down, sliding knee, kicked out. New Day was double teaming in the ring. Big E was holding up Morrison, and Kofi jumped off and double stomped him onto the ground. Miz hits his Miz kicks. Big E attempts to flip it into a powerbomb. That does not work. Morrison goes for a Starship Pain in the corner and completely misses. Kofi jumps ropes and misses completely. Now, this did not look good. Kofi was running. You know, the ring is like this. He runs, bounces off there, and then jumps over. When he jumped over, he completely landed on his back and missed any type of contact. That is the type of stuff that will paralyze you. That did not look good, but if anybody can take it, it's Kofi Kingston. That was definitely a ugly-looking spot. And Miz is back in the ring after this. He hits skull-crushing finale, and Big E kicks out. He kicks out of this. The ending sequence saw back and forth with a bunch of roll-up and kick-outs. Miz pushes Kofi off of a roll-up, and Morrison outside with a quick chair shot. This is how the match ended. Big E was nowhere to be found, I believe, in this. Miz pushed Kofi. Kofi was going for a roll-up, and he pushed him. As he pushed him into the rope, Morrison, who was on the outside, the referee was distracted, hit him with a chair. Miz then rolled up Kofi after that to get the win. Miz and Morrison win the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. It's cool to see them win it, especially so many years past their prime in the WWE. This was a good match, and I did enjoy it. It felt like the tag team matches were pretty good for the show. About everything else was kind of just filler, and it didn't really feel that important. Backstage, we see Seth Rollins and Murphy. Rollins says he respects the Street Profits, but he's going to win, yada, yada, yada. The next match, the crowd was dead here. I feel like the energy was sucked out so early. It was Angel Garza versus Humberto Carrillo in a singles match. I don't have too many notes for this match. This was just a lot of quick strikes early and missing, dodging different type of things. Garza goes for a kick, completely missed. Garza hit a nice super kick. Carrillo switches, hits it with a right hand. Carrillo attempts a roll-up. Garza kicks out, flips into his own, and a roll-up as Angel Garza beats Humberto Carrillo. Really no notes for this match. Nothing important. Not a match that you need to go back and watch. But regardless, Angel Garza gets the win. The sequence in the beginning was cool. It was very ninja-like, but everything else was kind of just there. And the next match was now a tag team match. This was for the Raw Tag Team titles. It was Rollins and Murphy versus the Street Profits, and this was another match that was pretty good. And this was probably one of the best matches, if not maybe the best match on the show. Dawkins comes out attacking fast. Rollins gets a control. Montez Ford tried to make a tag. He was lifted by Murphy, though. He is stomped, and he is put down. Murphy sends Ford into the barricade. Rollins jumps off the apron and misses. He hits faces on the barricade. Murphy throws Dawkins as Ford tried for a hot tag. There was a lot of hot tag miss attempts in this match. Buckle bomb from Dawkins. He breaks the count after Seth Rollins does his buckle bomb. Rollins flips Ford into a nice hot tag. This was really cool. He actually flipped him, and he did a complete flip and landed straight on his feet and right into the tag. That was some really cool stuff. Montez Ford hits a frog splash. Murphy pulls him off from a 3 count. Dawkins then threw Murphy over the announce table, so they were battling on the outside at this point. The Street Profits were going for a double pedigree. This was a two-team move here. They were going for the double pedigree, but Rollins and Murphy completely switched it into a DDT. Ford caught on the outside flip dive. He was thrown into the barricade. The ref was distracted. And as this was happening, Dawkins was kind of just, um, I don't know how to explain some of this. His face was out over the rope, and picture Rollins standing on the apron. He jumped up, Rollins hit a curb stomp to Angelo Dawkins on the barricade, or on the apron, I'm sorry. Then threw him back in, and Murphy pins, and Seth Rollins and Murphy retain the Raw Tag Team titles, which was very good. And this was one of the best matches of the night. And after this is kind of where the show just kind of began to fold a little bit. Now, I want to make mention, I know some of these notes are probably hard to find. I think it may be better off just to watch it visually a little bit more instead of always taking notes. I don't take notes on everything, and I also want to try to be a little bit more, what's the word for it? Bleacher Report will probably have it worded a lot better, or just different type of sites like that. The next match was the Saudi Arabian hero, and that is Mansour, who is undefeated in his hometown, or his home country, excuse me, of Saudi Arabia, and he was taking on Dolph Ziggler. Now, if this was a match that happened outside of WWE, there could have been so much more potential there, because I feel like these two match up really, really well, and Mansour is extremely talented. Mansour hit a moonsault, Ziggler kicked out. Ziggler hit a drop kick. Dolph had a chokehold, and he was using a wrestling style like flow in the ring for a while on Mansour in this match. Ziggler missed a famous attempt. Mansour hit a nice springboard neckbreaker. Mansour kicked out of a zigzag, which was given by Dolph Ziggler. Mansour hit an inverted neckbreaker. Then he goes to the top rope. He hits a beautiful moonsault for the win, and he remains undefeated in his country. Mansour gets the win over Dolph Ziggler. Now, this is where the show starts to really go downhill. This was, if you took the last 4 matches away from this show, it was probably not even going to be that bad. The next match was for the WWE title, and it was Brock Lesnar taking on Ricochet, and we all knew that Brock Lesnar was going to win, but we thought maybe there was a chance Ricochet could have some type of hope in this match, but boy, were we wrong. The best part of Ricochet's night was his entrance, because everything that followed was complete shit. Ricochet tried to come out of the gate very hard on Brock Lesnar. He was given multiple suplexes and F5, and that was all she wrote. That was a 3.5-second match review. Lesnar retains the WWE title. Not important. Going forward, he will look for his fight against Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania. I don't know if he will be defending or what will happen before and in between WrestleMania. Lesnar wins. Ricochet literally was bouncing off of the apron, and he looked like a dead sock puppet. That is that. The next match, for the 785th time, Roman Reigns and Baron Corbin, this time in a steel cage match. I don't care. I just didn't care. And that's just like, nobody cares about this. Anyway, Corbin was using a lot of right hands to Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns and Baron Corbin were on top of the steel cage very early. Corbin hit a nice deep 6. He keeps taking the chain off to try to escape through the side cage. The door is open. Reigns grabs the door, slams it right on Corbin. He tries a Superman punch while Corbin is dazed, and he gets caught with a choke slam from Baron Corbin. Corbin, running with a chain, hit a Superman punch, or attempted to hit a Superman punch. No, he did. He hit the Superman punch while Baron Corbin was in between so this is the ring rope, this is the cage, and there's that very small area in between. That's where he was. He hit that Superman punch. Corbin and Reigns would make his way to the top of the cage, but Corbin would regain his composure. They would both be at the top of the cage. Roman Reigns would then hit a Superman punch by the apron. Roman Reigns hit a Superman punch by the apron. He hit that one again, I'm sorry. And then he would grab the chain that Baron Corbin brought into the ring, and he would hit another Superman punch, and he would get the win. He would pin Baron Corbin, 1, 2, 3, Roman Reigns. They kept stating through this match that this would be the end of the feud, and we can only pray that that is what is delivered. Roman Reigns wins in a steel cage match. 2 matches to go. The second to last match on most shows is the death spot, and this is why. It was Bayley versus Naomi for the SmackDown Women's title, and I completely forgot this match was even going to happen. Bayley versus Naomi, this is probably, I have 0 notes for this match. I mean, at this point in the show, I was just like, wow, the last 3 matches have just been garbage. Bayley versus Naomi. Naomi kicks out of a belly-to-belly. Now, the ending was kind of nice, or a nice sequence to this match. She kicked out of a belly-to-belly. Bayley tied Naomi's shirt to her shoe, so she couldn't really, get up and be as tactical as she normally is. She then face slams her with her leg and pins her. Bayley retains the SmackDown Women's Championship. I don't care. You don't care. No one cares. Main event of the evening. Oh my God. This was the icing on the cake for WWE. This is where they said, screw everyone, and I can't believe this. Goldberg versus Bray Wyatt, The Fiend, for the Universal Championship. This was your main event of the evening, and Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Bray takes his jacket off, and Goldberg wastes no time. He quickly spears him. Bray kicks out very easily. Bray then has the mandible claw and uses it on Goldberg. Goldberg reverses it. Goldberg hits another spear. And another. And another. About 4 spears. And Bray Wyatt would keep kicking out. Goldberg was then put in the mandible claw again. And he completely survived and reversed it. He then picked up Bray Wyatt, hit a jackhammer, 1, 2, 3, and just like that. Just like that, 6 months of creative booking has been thrown out of the window. Goldberg wins the Universal Championship, and now it is probably going to set him up to take a nice fat L to Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. So that is that. I have no idea what happens from here, and this is just not good. That was not a good way to end the show. Goldberg wins. After the match, Bray Wyatt gets right back up, which is very interesting because all of a sudden he gets pinned, and oh, here I am, I'm back. And he does his little scare tactic, lights go out, and he disappears. So we're going to see what happens going forward. This show started off good, then it got worse. And towards the end, the last couple matches were pretty much kind of unbearable, it felt like. I can't give this show a thumbs up. I can't say it was the worst show I've ever seen either. Typical Saudi Arabia show. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching.